Welcome, everyone. We're live. And it's Friday. Oh my goodness, it's Friday. We made it through the week. Now, normally I give you a recap, but I give you a recap every day. But I was at work last night, and I always ask, what are we going to talk about in the morning? I want to share. And all I heard was, you know, you can only get it right, huh? And I was like, what do you mean? You know how sometimes people say, I keep getting the opposite of what I want. How come I never get what I want? I always get the opposite. You can't get the opposite. You will never get an opposite. When I say opposite, I mean, some people say, well, I wanted to manifest this thing and I didn't get it. We don't manifest things. We manifest what we are. We manifest. Remember what manifest means. Manifest means to show on the outside what is on the inside. If you do retail and you do an order, you get a packing slip. Before you crack the package open, you take out the packing slip and you read it, because it's going to give you a list of everything that is wrapped in that pallet. That is a manifest. A manifest. So to manifest is to show the contents of what is within you on the outside. So when people say, I got the opposite, no, you will never ever get the opposite. How can I be so sure? The next time you go outside to plant something, let me know when you get something else. If you planted peas, you can't reap corn if you planted peas. So you will always reap what you have sown. And I know for some people say, well, what if you didn't plant it? You will always reap what has been planted. Okay? You'll always reap what has been planted. So when I say to you, you can only get it right. Whatever your habitual mental attitude is what you will get. Period. Done. Capiche? It's done. It's over. So you don't get the opposite. So the encouragement for you today, you only ever succeed. What? Angela, if I only ever succeeded, I would have been living a different life altogether right about now. Sure. You only are successful. You successfully do, or you successfully bring out what is within you. Make sense? You successfully bring out what is within you. Every single time. Successfully. So, if you know that that's what you do, you bring out successfully what you are. That's because you can't break law. Huh? Angela, what do you mean? People speed all the time. I'm not talking about man's law. I am talking about the law of creation itself. You can't get it wrong, and you can't break it. And I know sometimes that people think I might be crazy. What do you mean you can't break the law? Let's look at what the law is. Mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is mental, which means you will always know that you exist. You'll always know that you exist. Well, how does one test this theory, you ask? When you forget something, what's the first thing you say is, oh, shoot, I forgot. Who forgot? I forgot. So there's something happening there. You are aware of yourself, and then you are aware of what you are doing. First, you are aware of yourself. I, and then you are aware of what you have, what you're doing. Forgot. Oh, I forgot. You see, mentalism, you will always know that you are. You will always know that you exist. And because you always know that you exist, well, you exist. And as a result of your existence, you do something. Cause and effect. Because you exist, you must act. Right? Because you exist. Now remember, awareness falls under mentalism because you are aware of your own existence. You can't break the law. You will always know that you exist. Listen, doesn't matter where you go. This is why Psalm 139 verse 10 says, if I rise on the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me. Your right hand will hold me fast. That simply means, for as poetic as it is, it just means wherever you go, up, down, left, right. You could be on the mountaintop, you could be in the bowels of hell. You'll know where you are, and you'll know that you're there. So you always know where you always know that you are. Can't break the law. You may forget. Wait, what was I doing again? And you'll recognize that you have forgotten. And now, correspondence as within, so without, as above, so below. What is within you comes out. What is within is the only thing that comes out. You reap what you've sown. Right? That's the principle of correspondence. And then you got the principle of vibration. Everything is moving. Nothing stands still. Nothing stands still. You're right, nothing stands still. It might look like it's standing still because it's either moving so fast that you can't see it or so slow that you can't see it, but it is moving because everything must move in order for change to occur. In order for polarity to occur, something's got to move from where it is to where it is going. And that movement is becoming. The movement is becoming. We're moving from where we are to where we're going. So we are moving through the stages of becoming. Root, shoot, flower, fruit. That's it. We're moving through the stages. So you've got polarity. Right? And then the way or the pattern in which something moves will tell you what it is or how the situation will turn out. This is what happens when you look at now rhythm. And then cause and effect. Every cause has its effect and every effect its cause. Some people say it like, for every action there is a reaction. Right? But it's every cause has its effect and every effect its cause. You can't break the law. You can only get it right. So after cause and effect, now we have gender. Not to be confused with man, woman, boy, girl. Remember, you can't apply man, but you can apply masculine. You can't apply woman, but you can apply feminine. Masculine is to, well, they're both gender. The principle of gender is generation. Coming up with an idea and fleshing it out until you have the material thing in your possession. So you see, you are always going to get the principles correct. So the encouragement is this. You can only succeed. What was that? I can only succeed. Yes, you can successfully show what is within on the outside every single time. So if you are rocking in the corner, what do you do? What do you do? Step one, which is what we always must do. We acknowledge. K-Frame, baby, how you doing? Asymmetric. Moon and Ray Rare here. And Dolphin Duck. Listen, you can only get it right. Because you can't break the law. You can't break the principles. You generate an idea. Like an architect. Like a sculptor, like a chef, you generate the idea, which is the image in your mind's eye of what you want to do. What you want to do. You know, when you go to those sculpting classes, you become the sculptor in that moment. You must do what you've become. As within, so without, as above, so below. So if you're going and you're molding and shaping something, well, you are now the sculptor. So in order to do something, you become it. You're learning woodwork, you are presently the carpenter. Right? You're learning to cook. Hey, you're Chef Boyardee. So you will become what you're doing. And if you're doing it, you're becoming it. Hello. So you see, you only get the principles correct. You will never break them. Oh, Angela, those are absolutes, those words you're using. Isn't the law flexible? Sure it is. It can be applied by anyone, anywhere, at any time. That's its flexibility. But you will never plant corn and reap peas. If you plant peas, you're going to get peas. Miss Trina L. Hey, girl. So you're only ever going to get it right. So if you say, my situation isn't changing, because the perspective has remained the same, and that is hard to hear. Dear Lord. Ooh, come on, little bit. Come on. Preach to the choir. I know. Come on, handsome. You're not going to sing your song after all that work? A little bit. See, you only get it right. You only get it right. You can only be successful. I'm not saying that you are only successful, right? Because I can. I'm saying it by way of principle. If you keep getting the same result in life, you are doing the same thing. You're planting the same seeds. So you're always, that's such a definitive word. Yes, it is. So then if you know now that you can only ever be successful because you can't break the law, then now that encourages you to do what? Look inside you, he says. It encourages you to look inside yourself. Well, what do you see? Well, what are you doing on what's the evidence on the outside? That's what you're doing. So if you walk around saying, "Oh, I'm not a good mom," hello. Sooner rather than later, you'll reap the evidence of what you say. You always show the evidence. You always show the evidence of what you are, which means can't break law. I'm telling you right now, you can't break the law. Well, that doesn't mean we don't try, though. Oh, we sure do try. Bless our heart. We do try. But the way the law has been designed is only for your success, dearest. Because when you're looking at the principles, there is no failure. How is there no failure? How is there no failure? Because you reap what you've sown. You reap what you have sown every single time. And the way that thing expresses itself shows you what you've planted. Period. So if you say, I want to change my life, but nothing is happening, I'm still doing the same thing, examine what you're doing. Look at the results. Successfully, you're repeating the same pattern. Successfully. So if you want to repeat a different pattern, Well, plant the seeds according to that pattern. What are the seeds mentally? Because we can hold physical seeds in our hands, but what are mental seeds? Our attitude. Our attitude. This man comes in just about every night at the store. And last night he came in and he showed me his photos. And I was just like, I felt so honored that he would share his good fortune, his good experiences with me. And before he left, he said to me, I just want you to know, every time you're on, you just brighten my day. I was like, aw, because he had rescued a parrot. And I said, oh, you rescued a parrot? I rescued a roo. And here we are showing each other. What was the point that I wanted to make? The point that I wanted to make is this. As within, so without. As within, so without. So if you examine your mental attitude, if you examine your mental attitude, what will happen? You will begin to see why your life is unfolding in the fashion that it is. That's what you'll see. And when you recognize what you're doing on the outside, because that's the inside showing itself, right? When you see what you're doing, your behavior, when you hear your inner conversations, when you hear the way you talk to yourself, you will understand or comprehend why your life is the way it is. So the encouragement for you, my beautiful friends, today is this. You only get it right. But we, as humanity, we look at the lens of, oh, well, this is right, that's wrong. You see how we create duality? When we fracture something? Look at it. Good and evil. When in actuality, what we experience as AKA good is what is within that person. When we experience what we call quote unquote bad, that's what is within. So, you can't break the law. I would not advise you to try because as within, so without. So every time you see an experience that you keep repeating, you've just found a pattern. There will always be this trigger for you. Always. That trigger is, why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep doing the same thing? That is your cue. That's your clue. So you see, you always know that you are. See? So what is it that you want to become? You must define that thing. Sometimes you use words, sometimes you don't have to. But define what it is that you want to become. And when I say define what it is you want to become, What does it mean to define it? It means if I say to you, what do you want for supper? What do you want for breakfast? You will think about it for just a brief moment and you will say, I want to eat ... Right? That's what you do. And from there, after you have decided this is how we all live. And that's why I said it does not require words, because even though you cannot speak, you will still show the contents from within to the outside world. Because it has nothing to do with vocalizing anything. It has to do with knowing a thing. You can't get it wrong, my friends. Only get it right. Hens will always lay eggs. She might retire from laying eggs, or she might be broody, but she gonna lay eggs. Then that mood that she's in changes. She's in the mood for hatching, not laying. So she will act according to the mood. With humans, we do the exact same thing. So pick up that attitude today, that mental attitude that says, shoot, this crazy chick says I can only get it right. But what's within me? What is my mental attitude? What's my mental attitude? And when you see your mental attitude, you'll know exactly the type of people you will encounter based upon your mental attitude. So today, my beautiful friends, when you look in the mirror and you be laying your edges, or you're trimming your beard, you're brushing your teeth, you're washing your face, and you look at your reflection, you will recognize that you only get it right. You only get it right. And what is it? You only show on the outside that which you are already. That's what happens over and over and over and over again. Yes? So what do you want to become? Name it. Remember, you don't have to speak. It is your mental attitude that is screaming what you say you want to become. So there. Mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. Because of that, you will always be successful. It doesn't matter what you do, so long as you have and here's the thing. Some people think because they don't make a decision of what they want to become, that one has not been made.